Hello, my name is Madeline, and welcome to this 15-minute Yin Yoga class for tight hips. So, a lot of us tend to store our emotions in the hips. A lot of tension, a lot of stress is stored there. So, this hopefully will be great for relieving some of that. And since it's a short practice, let's get right into it. We'll start with a butterfly pose. So, start to bring the soles of the feet together. Maybe you want to have them a little further out than you normally would. And you can stay upright like this here. If you have blocks, option to place blocks underneath those knees. It can feel nice. And if you want to go a little deeper, start to fold forward towards those feet, letting the spine round. Letting the head drop and feeling that gentle opening in the hips, or maybe not so gentle, depending. And try to come into stillness here, melting into the pose. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. And on your last breath, begin to slowly roll back up if you're folding forward, pressing up onto those hands. You can remove any props if you were using them. And then just gently bring the hands to the outsides of the thighs and slowly draw those knees back together. Maybe you want to go for a couple windshield wipers here, bringing the hands behind you and rocking a little side to side. And then returning back to center on the mat, we're going to come into a shoelace pose now. So actually you can get here by coming into a tabletop position and then start to just take that right knee and draw it in front of the left so that the right knee and the left knee are kind of stacked on top of one another. Spread those feet wide on the mat and then start to bring your hips back in between your feet. So this can be really intense. Maybe this isn't feeling good for you. You can sit up on a block here to just create some more space in the hips, maybe a blanket. Option to extend that left leg out as well, maybe a little more gentle. And if none of that feels good, option to go for a figure four on the back with the right ankle on top of the left thigh. So lots of options here for whatever works for your body. You'll still be getting a nice hip opening. And if you're in this shoelace pose, if you like to go deeper, You can start to fold forward over those knees. Again, the two knees aiming to be stacked on top of each other. So getting more of a stretch in that outer hip area. And trying to focus on the breath. I know this one can be pretty intense. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And take one last deep breath. And if you're folding forward, beginning to slowly press back up, you can come back into that tabletop position where you started, just uncrossing those legs. Maybe you want to take a couple of cat cows here, just moving the body a little bit. And then return back to stillness, and we'll come into that shoelace on the other side. So this time, swing that left leg in front of the right, the two knees in one line. Spread those feet wide on the mat, and then sink back in between the feet. Option again for a blanket or block underneath your seat. You can extend that right leg out long if that feels better. An option to go for a figure four instead, if that also feels best in the body. So you're here, two knees stacked on top of each other. If you want some more, start to slowly fold forward over those knees. And just notice the difference between the two sides. One side could be a lot tighter than the other, and that's totally okay. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. And on that last breath, if you're folding forward, starting to slowly press back up. And again, taking your time, you can return from where we started. So coming back into that tabletop position crossing those legs. Maybe you want to kind of shake out the feet a little bit. And then coming back to this tabletop position, we're going to make our way into a dragon pose. So both hands in front of you, start to step that right foot outside both of the hands. So hands are inside the right foot. And you have a lot of options here. You can stay up on your hands. You can come down onto forearms. If you have blocks, you can bring hands on blocks or forearms on blocks. It's up to you. So trying to find a place where you can be still for a little bit of time. And this is another intense one. So remembering too, if you ever feel any pain, you can always come out of a pose. This is a really great hip opener. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. And then whenever you're ready, start to slowly slide those hips back, being really gentle here. Bring that right leg back, and we'll step into a downward dog just to kind of counter that, release everything. Maybe in your dog, you want to pedal out the feet, listening to whatever feels good. And then coming back to stillness, and we'll make our way into dragon on the other side from our downward dog here. So start to step that left foot forward, step the left foot outside both of the hands. And again, notice the difference between the two sides. You have your options. You can stay up on hands, come down to forearms, you can grab blocks, put hands on blocks or forearms on blocks. And it can totally be a different variation from what you did on the other side. So just settling in here, breathing into that hip space. Notice any thoughts that arise, any emotions that arise, and noticing them without judgment. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. on your last breath, begin to slowly slide those hips back, taking your time. And you can step back into that downward dog one more time. Maybe you want to pedal out those feet. It's up to you. And then whenever you're ready, returning back down to the mat, we're going to make our way onto our backs. And we're going to come into a Shavasana, but it's going to be a different version of Shavasana where it's kind of like a reclining butterfly. So come down onto your backs and then bring the soles of the feet together like we did in the beginning of class. So you still have that butterfly shape, but you're just on your back. And just surrender into the earth here at the close of class for your final resting pose. And if you have the time, I encourage you to stay here as long as you like, or go into a regular Shavasana with the legs extended out long. But if you have to go, thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope your hips are feeling more open, less tight. And if you'd like to see more Yin Yoga videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know how this went in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.